Hey guys, Dr. Michael Tang here, physiotherapist. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the JOBY 1K, JOBY 3K, and the Ulanzi MT11 camera stands. Disclaimer, I am not a videographer or photographer by any means. I got on YouTube who needed some camera stands, so I picked them up. I'm also not sponsored by JOBY or Ulanzi, so you're going to get my honest opinions on what I think about these products. So to start off, we're going to start off with the JOBY 1K. The JOBY 1K is the smallest of all three camera stands, and I bought it for $30 at the time. And it weighs about 195 grams, and its primary purpose is to have smaller items, so smaller lights, or you can have a camera phone, anything of that sort. If you use a mirrorless camera, like the one I'm using to record now, it's really not that stable unless you just put it solidly on a table. But if you're gonna wrap it around a tree or something, it's not good enough. And the build of itself is made up of three stands here, three stands that are all plastic balls to build up, and they are all flexible and movable to adjust to whatever surface you need it to be. And on the top, we have a knob that is used so that you can go ahead and move and lock it around and move it around. To lock whatever mechanism you want, you have a screw hole at the top. So if you want to use a camera attachment like so, very easily, you go ahead and put that on there and you turn it on. It has a pivot for the two sides, so you really can't go side to side. However, you can go back and forth for the increased range of motion, as well as rotate it around. And next we have the JOBY 3K, probably one of the most popular camera stands that there is. It was the one that I was using before. This one came in at $50 when I had bought it, and it is a very similar version of the 1K. Similar stands, and where you have three pivots, and each one of the pivots each one of the legs have rubber balls on the side to help support that are adjustable, just like the 1K. The main difference really comes down to how much weight it can support, and it's graded for supposedly 6.5 pounds. I'm not sure if I would put 6.5 pounds on it, but the other main difference of it is going to be the ball head. On the JOBY 3K, the ball head is 360 degrees. You can move it all directions, comparatively to the 1K, where you really can only go back and forth where the cutouts are at. There is a cutout on the 3K here, but it's only one direction. Additionally, the other thing that's different is we have a quick release latch system here. So on the quick release, you click into the button here and very easily take out the latch. This is really convenient when you have multiple attachments that you want to put on and you just want to switch them in and out. Or if you have a large camera and you don't necessarily want to take off the camera by turning it, and you just want to slide this off, and then it becomes easier to take this particular portion off. Imagine if this is a camera, instead of me turning it off like this, very easily we go ahead and take this off, quick latch, and we can turn it this way, and it's a lot easier to take off in this fashion. Almost forgot to mention that the latch itself, so this latching mechanism, also has a leveler on it, and that's just useful to see if your camera is level in plane with what you want it to be. And finally, we get to the Ulanzi MT11 camera stand. This camera stand is going to be the direct competitor of the JOBY 3K because height, build, weight are almost all the same, and the amount of weight that can handle capacity-wise is around 6 pounds as well. But the kicker for this one is that it comes in at $24 instead of $50. So this is half the price of it. But is it half the value? The main difference is, with the JOBY we have the plastic balls that are adjustable, but with the MT11 you have three legs that are rubber on the outside, rubber coating, and they're pretty hard with friction. So if you put it on a particular surface, it'll stick on it. And on the inside you have metal bands that will kind of be easily adjustable, and they'll kind of stay there, and they're pretty solid too. So if I wanted to make this a little bit lower, very easily we could grab the legs, do something like that, and boom, we're done. Now let's just go ahead and adjust it back up to the top. Now the other difference is going to come to the ball head. Just like the 3K, we can go ahead and have it all 360 degrees. Slight variation though, you can go forward to bring it all the way down, but it also has a back too. So we have both directions that we can increase the range compared to the 3K where you only have one direction on it. And another difference is, unlike the 3K, we don't have the quick release latch. Instead, we have a camera attachment build. And what that means is when we go ahead and pull this out, we bring it up, now it becomes a camera attachment similar to the one I was using before, right on here, and you can just go ahead and pop that up very easily. And when you're done using it, all you gotta do, go ahead and kind of pop that back on there, done. It also has a balancer or a leveler right there, the little spot on the little green spot there. And also another feature it has is we have a attachment sight that you could put additional screws onto, a female sight where if you want to put a side light, you can very easily do that with this portion, and you really cannot do that with the Joby 3K. So now I'm going to put these 3 camera stands to different tests to test the stability and how you would use it on a normal day-to-day basis, right? So I'm going to do a push test where I have the camera stands mounted with the camera itself, and I'm going to kind of push it along to see how stable it is and if it will move. Next, I'm going to do a wrapping test where I grab these particular camera stands and I wrap them around like a rail or a tree to see how well they grip and how well they can support the weight of a camera on there or whatever else you want to use. And finally, I'm going to use it as a vlogging style where I grab the camera stand, bring it up together and bend the end and use it just like I would as a vlogger. I'm going to be seeing how stable it is from its initial setup, waving it around, as well as how it feels in the hand to see how comfortable it is to use from a day-to-day basis. But before we get into the test, I just want to remind you guys that I have links to each of the products that I'm reviewing today in the description box below. Every time you guys buy from those links, I will get a small commission, which helps support me continue to make more helpful videos just like this one for the future. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the test.
You want to dance?
I think the Joby 1K works best as a camera stand for either phones or possibly a compact camera. It really didn't handle my heavier camera too well. Personally, I will use this more as a vlogging tool just because it's lighter than the Joby 3K or the MT11, and given that its length of its legs are not as much as its 3K or 11, it doesn't work well with wrapping different objects, either rail or tree, like I did in some of my tests. So then when we are comparing for a heavier set camera like the one I was using, I will go with either 3K or MT11. Both of these camera stands, when it comes to function, it's about the same. So you really can't go wrong either way. However, I do prefer the 3K over the MT11 only for the simple reason of the quick release latch. It just makes the workflow a little bit easier, and I also understand that I could be a little biased since I've been using the 3K for a couple years now. Another advantage is that the replaceable ball head. Technically, I could have just got a new ball head for my old 3K and it would have been brand new, but I went with a new one because the stands were a little bit stiffer in comparison to the old one. But not to be outshined, the built-in camera stand on the MT11 really came in handy when I forgot my camera stand here, or my camera attachment. But when I did remember it, it really didn't make much of a difference. And the versatility of a camera attachment like this, I can also do vertical videos just because this thing turns, whereas this one, the MT11, does not. Now, when talking about price, since Joby is a really popular brand, you probably expect that you're going to be paying the premium for it, which is exactly what happened. The 3K that we bought here came in at $50, whereas the MT11 goes for about $24. So from a pure value standpoint, the MT11 is a definite winner since they both can do almost exactly the same thing, and on top of that, the MT11 has the built-in camera stand. So if you don't have the camera attachment like we have here, this is incredibly helpful. So for me, the better camera stand is the 3K, but honestly, it's not by that much. It just came down to convenience of the quick release latch. If budget is concerned, definitely go with the MT11, and even if budget is not concerned, you really can't go wrong with going with the MT11. From a PT perspective, it's really easy to use with either your right hand or your left hand, and the knobs are just the right size where it doesn't feel like it's too big or too small, and it doesn't take too much force to set up any of these camera stands. Unless you have an injury or impairment affecting your fingers, you should be able to use these camera stands with no problem. But for those of you who do have some problems with your fingers, go with the MT11 because it doesn't require as much dexterity. This little piece here is a lot easier to handle, right? You can kind of use your wrist, and whereas with the knob, you might need a little bit more dexterity with your fingers to get it to work. But it's really minor in general. So that's going to be my honest opinion on these 3 camera stands here. If you liked the video, go ahead and leave a like on the video and comment below to let me know which one you plan on getting, if you agreed with me or disagree with me on some of the different points. And reminder again, all the links to the camera stands are going to be in the description box below. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.